Hello, and welcome to Creative Cousins. If you're new here, we're two cousins and we make art. Today, we're going to do a deep dive. Well, not a deep dive, but we're going to talk about David Lynch. We're actually not here to talk about his films. So, I recently found a quote that I posted to my story that I thought was by David Lynch. And this is how I learned about him. And
Oh,
like one of my photographer friends, like responded to my story and said like, "Oh, I love him." And I was like, "Don't know who he is. I just like the quote."
wow.
Um, so that is how we decided that this was going to become an episode of the podcast. And I found out after the fact that the quote was not actually said by him. It was said by someone else after watching one of his movies. So it was like someone's reaction to like his work.
Well,
And the quote,
fact checking is important and misinformation is real, folks.
misinformation is so real, even on Instagram, even anywhere, like anywhere
It's
you
true.
look is real. So that was like a quote that was like an image on Instagram, like somebody put
Mhm.
it in like text and like posted it as a post on Instagram and like put his name under it, but he didn't actually say it. Who actually said it was David Foster Wallace after he watched the film Blue Velvet.
Got it.
So this is what he had to say. What the really great artists do is they're entirely themselves. They're entirely themselves. They've got their own vision. They have their own way of fracturing reality. And it's if it's authentic and true, you will feel it in your nerve endings. So that's a quote that got me interested in David Lynch, what brought us here today. But like I said, we're not going to talk too much about his films. We're going to talk more about his photography and his art and his life. I'm going to touch on the films a little bit, but yeah, I think it should be a good episode and have some visuals to show you guys of some of his work. Um,
I think it's really
so
cool
without further ado,
because people don't really know much about his photography. So that's really cool that even though we know about his movies, but you don't really know about his photography, it's interesting to learn more about that. So I think that's really exciting.
and to be honest, like it was not really that easy to find examples of his work either, of his
Hmm.
photography work, because he's so much less known for it. It's not really like I don't know, a lot of his work is just like untitled stuff. Just finding it was tough. I went to like different gallery sites and everything. And like even like some people's like WordPress blogs. But there wasn't like one singular place where I could like view everything. It was very fractured. So
Got it.
I what I found was not probably like the greatest representation of all of his work, but I found some really interesting stuff. I'm going to start off talking about his life and then we'll move on and talk about his work. So, he actually passed away
Recent.
last year
Yeah.
in January from emphysema. In his final years, he was housebound. And obviously, as you know, as most people know, emphysema is from smoking. But he actually said that he never regretted smoking.
Oh,
So he he was like, "Isn't it like every addict's like dream, like that the things we love don't hurt us or something?" I don't know. That was like one of like the quotes I saw. In his later years, he would do like these daily weather reports on YouTube,
really?
and yeah, because he lived in LA, so most of the time it was sunny. But
It's
like
so
most
funny.
of the videos were just him gazing out a window and declaring like, "Oh, another sunny LA day." Um, but his final video was posted in 2022, about 3 years before he died, where he cheerfully noted it was a Friday and reported cloudy 50-degree weather in Los Angeles.
That's so funny.
Um,
My God, that's
isn't
exciting
that
too.
funny?
Really, it's exciting to have cloudy weather. Wow. But yeah, I mean, a change in the weather. But yeah, that's really funny. Like, it's a very YouTube thing to do. I don't know why. It's just like
Right?
it's a relatable thing to do. I love that.
He didn't always live in LA. He was born in Missoula, Montana in 1946. His father was a USDA scientist and and his mother was an English tutor. They moved a lot. They moved to, like Montana, Idaho, Washington, North Carolina, and Virginia. And when he was really young, he earned the nickname Bongo Dave because he used to play the bongos.
Oh,
And he would do things like build fireworks and pipe bombs with his friends, just like as the boys do. And he was a dedicated Boy Scout. So a little bit of his early life, but
oh,
so a little bit later in life, he went to school. He tried to go to school for art twice. He went to Tufts and George Washington University. He dropped out of both schools. He didn't last there for whatever reason, but he finally landed at the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts in Philadelphia. This was kind of like where he says was like the biggest influence on his work because of the city of Philadelphia. So I guess at the time, the city was like in really bad shape. A lot of the factories were shutting down or being abandoned. I guess the industrial era must have been ending. I'm not sure.
I think
But like,
Philadelphia has had their ups and downs for sure. I don't know too much about Philadelphia to be honest, though. So, but it's had its ups and downs.
yeah, he really liked the fact that it was like so decayed and dark and like abandoned. So he did a lot of his work there, a lot of his
Oh,
photographs. So he was really drawn to like eerie buildings and industrial spaces, and there was a ton of abandoned factories where he lived. So
wow.
I guess this atmosphere also like directly inspired the atmosphere of his film Eraserhead. It was like dark and
Mm,
dingy and like city life, like fear, decay, like that kind of vision, that kind of
I
vibe.
see.
But so I'm gonna show you guys a couple of visuals from his factory photos.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready to see some creepy stuff.
I believe this was 2000 actually, so I don't know if this is in Philadelphia or not, but he really loved these kind of like factory photographs.
Very
But
dramatic.
I love like the smoke. I think that's my favorite part of the image. I mean, the composition is also good, but most of his photographic work was black and white. There is some color, but most of it was monochrome. Because he really liked that feel that it gave, like that dream-like atmosphere.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, the
but here's another.
and sorry, can you go back to the first one?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I like the angle as well. It's just a very like extreme angle. And it's also an angle that you probably don't
Yes.
normally would like take a photo of the factory. And it has
Yeah.
like multiple lines like in the corner. Like there's like, you know, kind of like an intersection here going on.
Yeah, I
So
see that. Yeah.
everything is very like turned upside down. I don't know why. Like it just feels like
It makes it
we're in a
look
creepy
bigger and more
world.
intimidating. Yeah. Like the angle that he used makes it look larger and more intimidating.
Yeah.
It's not an angle that you use a lot in any sort of photography because it's like not usually a flattering one. But that's
Yeah.
exactly like what his style was like to be like the opposite of normal. So like I felt like this photo when I was looking through the photos like stood out to me because it was like just so different.
Yeah, it's just it has like it's like has like really sharp edges as well. In contrast with
Yeah,
like the smoke is like the smoke is
yeah,
like the soft edges, but there's also like really, really hard edges.
yeah,
So it's interesting. Interesting start.
yeah. I think this one is my favorite out of the ones I'm gonna show you, but the next one is not I feel like this one is less creepy, but it's more like structural. I just like the repetition of the columns. Like it doesn't really feel something about it doesn't really feel realistic. And I think that was kind of like what he also tried to achieve in his work, is like he tried to make things seem a little bit unreal.
Yeah, I feel like they almost look like vases.
Yeah, I know. It's like if you it might take you a second if you didn't know like what his work was about, you would look at this and it might take you a second and be like, "Oh, that's a factory."
Yeah,
I don't
it's hard to
know.
know exactly what it is because everything is, it's just, it's, yeah, it's
Yeah.
really
But
peculiar
it's
looking.
almost like he enjoyed creating like he enjoyed making the real world look like surreal, like a fantasy.
I think he wanted people to have questions to look at his.
He really wanted people to have questions. And a lot of his work, he like purposefully makes things ambiguous so that you don't know what's happening in the photo, so that you have to like think about what might be happening. You think about the various things that might be happening. Like I don't remember if I included, I don't think there's an image, but like there's a ton of examples of this in his work. I'm sure we will come across one where like there is like intentional mystery to the photo where like you don't know what's going on behind that window or whatever. Like he really wanted people to have questions. Yeah, that is actually very true. All right, so the next one is this one. I thought it was cool, like how he framed
Oh
like one of
yeah,
the old abandoned buildings with another. Um, like he
yeah.
literally framed an abandoned building with an abandoned building.
You know, like sometimes look at a photo and you really just want to like straighten it. You're just like, I just want you to
Yeah, I
just
know,
want you
but
to
like it's like
just push
he
this
used
side.
the Dutch angle on
Like
purpose here.
that. Like,
Like he broke like so many rules, like not rules, but like
yeah,
he went against the grain for a lot, and like using the Dutch angle is like definitely like probably would have been a different thing to do at the time. So
yeah.
I wouldn't even say this is like probably intentionally a Dutch angle, but
I
like
know. That's why I'm like, I want you to just tilt the left corner up just a tiny bit. Because I think it's,
yeah,
I don't know if this is on purpose to make it, I mean, it's not straight, but you can just straighten it just a little bit or go all the
right.
way. You either go completely touch angle or you go straight. You can't just like half-ass it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but pick a lane.
Yeah, right. That's true. Like he didn't even do it. He didn't even do the Dutch angle correctly. Like
Yeah,
he
no, just pick a
just
lane,
did a
please, and really
slightly like he
commit.
liked things to be like he really liked things that were like slightly off. Like
Yeah,
so I think like this photo is like such a good example of that. But yeah.
that's so funny.
Um
Just slightly
so then yeah, just slightly. Like it's not a Dutch angle, but it's
enough to
not a
bother
Dutch
you.
angle.
Not enough
Enough
to,
to bother you. Yeah.
yeah, just
So
enough.
true. Um all right, so the next one is also creepy.
Oh, I
Um
don't like that.
Yeah. This one, for me, out of all the ones we just showed, this one creeps me out the most.
Yeah, no, it's very
And
unsettling.
this is an example of exactly what I was just saying too, is that he wanted there to be questions. So this type of scene he would have been so excited to photograph this because he would have been like, oh, like you can't see what's behind that door, but the door's open. So
And
it like leaves it up to your interpretation of like what could possibly be happening there.
but like, are we in a pit? Like, what's happening? Like, how come there's no floor?
That's the exact question he wanted you to ask. So
I feel like we were kidnapped and we were just like taken into a
yeah.
room and thrown into the
Yeah.
room. Trying, you can't escape because you can't reach the door.
It does actually look like you are. Yeah, it does look like you're like a prisoner here.
But
Very creepy.
he accomplished what he set out to do. So,
Yes.
bravo.
Okay, the next one is actually not a photograph. It's a painting. Well, not a painting, but it's a drawing of a factory building that he did like 12 years after.
Oh,
Like, I think it was like 2012 or something. Yeah. So
I think it's
he
cool.
worked on multiple mediums. He did a lot of art. He did a lot of photography. He just kind of like experimented with stuff, and he never like limited himself to like certain things.
It
So
looks, I mean, it looks like uh, charcoal. And then it also looks like he used, he didn't use a ruler, but the lines are pretty straight. Like, I don't think this is a ruler lines, but I think he made them pretty straight though without a ruler. So props.
I agree.
That's hard to do.
I just wanted to include that because it's like his perspective on factory buildings, but like through drawing instead of photographs.
Yeah, the writing factory building is giving Coraline for some reason. I don't know why, but that font creeps me out.
Yeah, I know. It is
It's like
creepy.
a child wrote something in a creepy way. There's something really creepy about that. But
Red rum.
yeah, it's creepy. But I like it because it's creepy.
Okay. 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 So another big theme in his work was suburbia. So he often tried to like unsettle through like making suburbia appear sinister.
Okay.
You didn't really truly know what could be going on behind your neighbor's like closed doors.
Love that.
Um, so like a lot of his films, like I guess Blue Velvet, really refined that idea of like hiding evil just beneath the surface of suburban life.
I never watched it.
He I never did either. So like again, like I am like not the best person to like comment on his like film career, but that was like a lot of the like success behind his movies there, which is
Yeah.
like the themes behind like his successful movies were like what lies like behind closed doors and stuff. But like just like unsettling
Well, and I'm sure that,
balance. Like
yeah, around that time, I'm sure no one else was really doing that. That was, I mean, as like, yeah, I'm sure people were doing that, but maybe no one else knew of anyone else making, unsettling movies. And so that's probably why it became so popular because, I mean,
yeah.
he's like very unique, very himself. So,
And like his response to like criticisms about like how like his movies were so dark was that like he would strike a balance. He was like, yeah, like they're dark, but like also like they make you think. And then he would also like strike a balance of like the dark with the light. So like he believed like so strongly in like um there is no lightness without dark and vice versa. So
hmm,
he believed that like the strength of his characters um were like the good. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like against like the evil. So um he also like really embodied that in like his own life. Like that was like his own personal philosophy of
Mm,
like the balance between light and dark. And like he was big into meditation. Like he devoted like 50 years of his life to like transcendental meditation. And this part is like personally relatable to me because over the past 2 years I've developed a real like passion for meditation.
mm,
Um and like I'm not as consistent with it now as I used to be, but there was a period of 6 months where I went every day meditating for 20 minutes. And he did that, but he did that for like 50 years. Um, he was like big on meditation. Yeah, so he believed that there were like redeeming qualities to his work. And he believed that like you couldn't really have good films without like making people think or like making like you feel unsettled in some way. Like I
right.
think like he said something along the lines of like, like a good film is like a woman that you're in love with. Um he was like there's some parts of her that you like don't want to take home to your parents or something.
Oh,
Like something like that.
shade.
I don't know, like it's not like the exact quote, but like he was basically just saying that like human nature always has two sides of it and
Yeah,
you need to show the dark to be able to like have a better like understanding and experience.
right.
Um
I get what he's
so
saying. Gives you perspective.
yeah, it
Um,
gives you perspective because like even that woman that you love, like she has like wonderful things about her, right? But she's also human, so she has bad things about her too. So he was just saying like you can't have one without the other. A lot of critics like called his work like violent and pretentious. But again, he would defend that by saying like the characters were like more nuanced.
right. That makes sense.
So that was a lot of like his success came from Twin Peaks, which is a show.
Hmm.
Um, that's like mostly what he's known for. But
It's very
um,
popular. There's also like a reboot that happened later too. But it was only like two seasons in the 90s. And then I think later it was like just a quick reboot or something. It's hard for me to remember how many episodes the reboot was.
I don't know. I am actually interested in watching this show now, though, after doing this research, because like I was watching YouTube videos last night, and
Yeah, it's
it
right up
just
your
seems like
alley.
something I would want to watch.
Yeah.
And like I also just feel like the visuals would be interesting to me, and
Yeah, it's very strong visuals. So yeah, I've watched
yeah,
it.
like the
But yeah,
strong,
it's very strong
yeah,
visuals.
like I just would.
You would like it. It's very weird, but you'd
Um,
like it. It's weird, so
okay, so
you'd like it.
at some point, he did have to pick like 99 of his photographs to display in a gallery show in Paris.
Oh, that's cool.
And I really wanted to find that collection,
Oh,
but I could not.
okay.
So for whatever reason, it's just like not like you basically need to like buy the books. He has a few books with his works in them. Let me see if I can find what they were called. Oh yes, he had two published monographs, Images and Nudes.
Oh,
So I think Images is just like collection of his work. And then Nudes, he had like this whole series of just like unsettling, like distorted nudes of
oh
people.
boy. So they're
But
not very sexy, is what you're saying.
not at all. They're like creepy. It's like horror movie like stuff. Like it
Oh
looks like
my
it came out
god.
of a horror movie. I'm gonna show some of those. Uh, but yeah, he exhibited in galleries in Paris, New York, and Los Angeles.
That's really cool.
So I'm gonna show some of the nudes.
Yeah, let's see them. Let's see the nudes.
Oh, good. So this is like honestly couldn't stand to look at many of these. So there's only like five.
Yeah, you can go through them quickly.
Um, like I don't even know. Like, is YouTube gonna like censor this? But like
I
this
don't
one is
know.
so creepy. Like this is like less creepy, but just kind of like
Yeah,
weird.
it's more like far away,
Um,
so you can't really see what's
this
going
one
on.
is very creepy. Like honestly, like shocked that he wasn't like like I don't know. This just like seems like something out of a horror movie, like
Yeah.
or something that like a serial killer would like do.
Shade.
I'm sorry. No, no shade or some peace. Like, but like, I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying that also. Like, I don't know. Um, it's just like so disturbing.
Yeah. Well, Allie, it's making you think. And
Okay, and then these next two are also photographs, um, but they're not distorted nudes.
I mean, who
They're
hasn't
just like
made
weird.
creepy shit? You know what I mean? I made a whole artwork
We've all
about,
done it.
you
We've
know,
all done it.
we've all done it. You've seen my artwork from my college class where I made some really dark images. Okay. I
Yeah.
almost made an image of like someone walking over like dead bodies. Okay. I almost did that. And my professor was like, no. And I was like, got it. I won't do that. Anyways, so
Wow, your professor told you no? That's so
no, well,
rude.
he was like, because it was
Censorship.
illustration class. He's like, would you put that in a publication? And I was like, no, I would not. So, all right.
What
So,
if he said yes? Then he would have to let you.
well, yeah, he wouldn't have said no flat out, but I could tell he was like, please don't do that. And I was like, okay, I won't. I did not like to go
Stir the
against
pot.
the professor. Okay, I like
Yeah.
so. Anyway, so I get it. You can be creepy and not. You can, no, you can make creepy art and not be creepy.
Okay, so these two photos that I'm about to show, I believe they're both from the 90s. And to me, it makes sense. Like they look like they match up with that decade because like have you ever heard like the phrase like 90s grunge?
Yes, I think
This
yes,
photo
people
is
have.
like what? Like I feel like this photo is like the epitome of 90s grunge.
Yeah, it is very
I don't know
like.
why.
I mean, it's
It
hard to
just looks
even
like
know
it's from
what's
the era.
happening. I mean, what is in the
I don't
hand?
know what it is. I think that might be a tooth.
Is this a
I'm not
claymation
entirely
type
sure.
thing? Like, it's just these little like
It's
figures he
clay.
made out
Yeah,
of.
these are clay.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like,
I think that might be a tooth coming out of the hand. And
oh, I
then
didn't
as you
see
can
that
see,
at all.
there are factory buildings in the background.
Love factories. Did he work in a factory? Because it
Yeah.
would really make sense.
No, I don't think he did. I mean, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he didn't do that.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so the next one is also clay. from the 90s. And
It's
something about
a
this color scheme also
it's a
really
hard
says 90s
pass for
to me.
me, but it does remind me of like something on like if you've seen Adult Swim on Cartoon Network or whatever.
Yes, it
Yeah,
does,
you
exactly.
know,
Like, it looks like something from the 90s.
it just looks like something that would be on one of those weird cartoons that people be really
Yep.
into. But I
This
mean,
is a clay head
it's a lot of detail
that
actually. I mean, in it, you can see the
it's a clay
nose.
head that he presumably stuffed this clay head with turkey and cheese,
Because why
and
not?
that is
Honestly.
how because it attracted ants. Look at the ants all over it.
Oh, oh, I couldn't even tell what that
Yeah.
was.
So,
Ew.
like, clay head with turkey cheese and ants.
You know, I'm really trying here. I'm really trying to be respectful.
I'm really trying to like it and be respectful, but it's so gross.
I'm really trying. Yeah, it involved ants, and that's a hard pass for me. It's a hard pass because I hate ants.
It
We've had
involves
ants,
ants and, like,
you
rotting
know.
food.
Yeah, it's.
It's hard for me to actually like his work, but
No, but it's
I can
unique
appreciate it.
and interesting. So I
Okay,
appreciate that they don't
let's stop looking at
that
this.
that he didn't. I appreciate that he didn't care that people would be disturbed and that he liked that. And so there's something about that that's very endearing, and I like that, you know. And
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that
Gotta give credit where credit's due.
you know it's better than a lot of I've seen, AI art that it's better than any AI art. I'll tell you that much. It's like at least it has. There might be art that's like that is like AI that is beautiful and it's like wow, it's so pleasant and pretty to look at, but it has absolutely zero meaning because it's AI. At least
Yeah,
this, as weird as this stuff is and as like gross as it may make you like grossed out as it may make you feel, at least you are feeling something, and like that is
yeah.
what you want. That's literally what art is. It is to get a reaction out
Gotta
of
make me
you.
feel something.
And so yeah, it makes you feel something. And so he actually 100% accomplished the goal and literally everything. So you gotta really like that and respect that way more than any
You know what
AI
I also
art that happens.
I also respect the fact that, like, he did so many things. Like, he wasn't just a film director, he was a painter, a photographer, and he was a musician.
Right.
I don't really know much about, like, what like, instruments he played, so if anyone knows, like, feel free to, like, drop that in the comments.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then he was just such a, like, multifaceted person, like, he was so interested in meditation and, um, he founded a foundation. He founded the David Lynch Foundation to champion transcendental meditation.
Wow.
Um, and, like,
It's up
his
your
yeah,
alley.
his overall body of work just really consistently explored the same themes, and it's kinda
I mean,
how
I feel like that's like honestly the true life of like an artist is that you do multiple things that express your creativity. So you're not just going to do one thing. And like you go through like
yeah,
phases and like certain things that you want to focus on at a and at a time. So maybe at first he focused on his photography, but then he was more interested in doing videos instead of photos, which is still kind of photography, really. I mean, just but anyway, but you're just doing a different you're still doing what you're doing but with a different medium, really. He still
right, and
did all the same stuff.
everything still connects together, though, like, there's a lot of skills that overlap in all of these things, and what
Yeah.
I think is really interesting is that, like, for me, a lot of my creativity has deepened and become better because I've become better at meditation. And I think, like, he always talked about, like, the liminal spaces, right? Because, like, he wanted his work to feel like it was, like, putting you in, like, that liminal space, I think. Because that's the space that you're, like, trying to, like, get to when you're meditating. So I just find it really interesting that, like, that all kind of ties together in, like, his work. And, like, anytime you're making any kind of art, like, you're getting into a flow state, you're, like, trying to get into that, like, liminal space where things can be created out of nowhere. Um, so I think that, like, that went probably even deeper than anybody knew about how much of an influence it had on his work, because I mean, I know for me personally, like, I don't think I wouldn't have done like a lot of the stuff I've done
Mm.
if I wasn't like meditating and like trying to get purposely like put myself in a space that's like uncomfortable, because it's just like that's where the magic happens basically.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I personally don't meditate, but I can see how like it would be very helpful for people. And
I
I
think the
mean,
artist is very helpful.
yeah. And he like seems it seems like it was very on brand for him. His whole thing, like I feel like his
Yeah.
whole career, everything that he did was very much like you gotta like give him like props for like even though like when he makes things very very unsettling, like you know that it's his. You know, it's like it's very
Yeah.
much like yes, like
He
you
had
know
a very clear
exactly.
signature.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's your style. That's your thing. Like no matter even if it was buildings, like even though it's like photos of buildings that look unsettling to like creepy clay figures, they're still kind of the same vibe. So
Yeah.
like it's just interesting. I think yeah.
I know. And I think he really did achieve feeling like everything he created was like in a liminal space, because everything he created was like not quite reality, but also not like to the point where it didn't look at all like reality. Like it was somewhere in between.
Mm.
I think that was like,
Maybe kind of like
I think it's
dreamlike,
really cool.
perhaps.
Yeah, exactly. It's dreamlike, and that's like a lot of
That's
like when you
how
dream,
Twin
you
Peaks
actually
was
do go
like.
into. I do believe that when you dream, you go into a liminal space as well, because it's like it's mixed with elements of reality, but it's not all reality. So it's
Mm,
like the in between space.
right.
Um,
I
so
feel
I think
like
yeah,
if you
his entire thing was just so consistent. Like
yeah. I feel like if you watch Twin Peaks, it is very like dreamlike. Everything is like it's kind of bizarre.
that would be so on brand for him too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like creating for the sake of creating. Because
Everyone,
like
all the actors on the show is good too. And it has a lot of quotable moments. It's just like a very, yeah, it's very, it's a good show to watch. Anyway.
but I'm gonna end off with some photos of his artwork.
Oh, yeah.
Um and this quote.
Okay.
I didn't like go through a ton of quotes by him, but I saw another artist's name and I was like, ooh, definitely grabbing that one. Um, so he once said, I don't think it was pain that made Vincent van Gogh great. I think his painting brought him whatever happiness he had. And that
Wow.
one kind of stuck with me, because I was like, a lot of people would say that like, oh, like, a lot of artists that are like super talented is because they're like, mentally ill or whatever. Like, I feel like that's like a theory that people have, is like people that are talented are like they have to be a little crazy.
Mm.
Um, but, like his take was like, oh, I don't think that's what made him great. Like I think his painting just brought him like whatever happiness he could get.
Yeah. And because like he didn't really get like famous at all. Van Gogh was like, I think it's like one of the examples that people give of people that of like artists who were not well known and or like were not famous when they were living, but then became like extremely famous after they died. And so like I think I would believe that he curated his art because I mean, I would hope so. It brought, enjoyment to him. But yeah, and I think it helps you like I don't think you yeah, like you said, I don't think you need to be crazy to make good art. Even though sometimes I do feel a little crazy, but and perhaps it
For
can
your last
help.
diptych
Yeah,
made
no,
you feel
perhaps
that
it can
way.
help. Add extra zhuzh to your artwork, but I think it also helps you, work through things. You know, helps you feel better sometimes. So
I agree.
I would agree with that.
It's expression, so that's got to be healthy.
I've heard that.
Um,
Yeah, I think it's
there's
healthy.
definitely worse ways to cope.
There's rumors that expression is healthy, I suppose.
All right, so I'm gonna open up these last artworks, and then we'll say a few closing words.
Okay.
Um,
All
sweet.
right. Interesting. Interesting. Shout out to Vaseline.
You know,
Shout
right?
out to Cowboy Man. Yeah. No, it's good. It's good.
Chicken head. I'm not sure what the thing in the bottom is.
I
Maybe
don't
chicken shit.
I don't
Like,
want to
is
think
this
about
like
it,
chicken shit
but
that's
I
smeared?
mean,
It definitely looks like chicken shit,
never thought
and I
I
can
had
say it.
to say chicken
I
shit
know
on the
that because
podcast.
we had chickens growing up,
Oh,
and that's what their shit looked like.
perhaps that would be a good creative cousins nostalgic memory later.
Oh, do you have any memories with our chickens?
Um, well, I remember you showing them, and I remember trying to pick one up before, and I also remember that they met a violent end, and I felt bad about it. Whenever you told me that
Yeah.
they died, and I did not like that. That
You know, that's actually a pretty good nostalgic memory. Let's share that now because we're already talking about it. And I feel like it kind of relates to David Lynch,
oh
like
yeah,
because like actually this painting is chickens that are headless, and that is exactly what happened to our chickens. Um, so yeah, they were, we assume, killed by a fisher cat. Beth obviously remembers me telling her that.
yeah.
But like, yeah, this it's very David Lynch of them.
They were very cute. I thought.
They were cute.
Yeah. Do you remember any of their names?
I remember one of their names because I had a favorite. Her name was Melody.
I knew it.
Um, you remember
Yeah,
Melody?
I do remember because I kept saying I have a story. That was my story. I was hoping that you'd say that name because I couldn't remember. It was either I remember I have a vivid memory of it was like your birthday party or something, or I don't know. We're like walking into the chicken coop or whatever, and you were like, "Oh, her name is Melody," and I was like, "Melanie," and you were like, "Melody," and I was like, "Melody." I don't know why I didn't know what it. I didn't for some reason I couldn't understand what you were saying. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
I
I'm glad
don't
you said that.
remember why it was that we were like so attached to Melody. I think probably because she just had a different color than the rest of the chickens. She was like this like golden reddish color. Um, and I think she was also like maybe she sounded a little bit different or she was a little more vocal or something that I think that's why we named her Melody because she was like talkative. Um,
Oh,
but like yeah, I just remember like that was my favorite chicken. Do you remember like when we got them when they were like babies, like when they were like little fluff balls and we had them like inside the house like in an incubator?
I think I might have like a really vague memory of that, but I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
I do remember you like they were around for a little bit there, at least
Yeah.
some amount of time. I can't
Um,
not that long, but yeah, I definitely
right.
remember that one. But I didn't know if there was any other ones. But I thought that was so funny. I'm like, okay, so it is the same one that I thought of.
It is. Yeah, it's so funny that you remember the name. Okay, so moving on. This one is like gross. It's just like six men throwing up.
Oh, I
Um,
could not even tell what it was. Ugh.
that's the name of it, I guess. No, some of his works were like untitled, but um, like yeah, it's like not really
All right,
fun to look at.
fun.
I don't really know what it means. Like, I don't know if that was like supposed to be like showing their stomachs,
Oh, I think
like,
probably yeah, it's something like that.
or like what was in their stomachs or something. I don't know. There's like a more realistic version of them in the top corner, but it's just interesting. And then the next one is from the 70s. I just
Oh,
thought this was like, this one stood out to me because it's like so different.
why does it remind me of Rugrats? I don't know why. It doesn't really look like it, but for some reason I was just like,
It does remind me of Rugrats. Oh my God, I was trying to like think of what it reminds me of. No, totally. I totally see that.
I can't believe Rugrats. It's so like kind of creepy, but I'm like, why does it?
Yeah. And then there's this one, which is like, I think neo expressionism. I don't know. I'm trying to be better with the
Oh no, I
the
appreciate
verb.
it. I appreciate it.
Um, but that's what was said in the gallery website. So,
Oh,
um,
1965. That would make sense. Yeah, it looks
yeah.
like that time
Um,
period. But
so that's kind of like a cool one. Kind
Yeah,
of looks like a
contrast. I like
spaceman or
it.
something.
People were very into space around that time, so it makes sense.
That's true. Yeah. And then this one reminds me of Scream, just because of
Oh,
wait, this
oh yeah. Him and his creepy font, or creepy writing. I keep saying font,
right?
but his handwriting is
And the next to last one is Woman with a Small Dead Bird.
that she is. It's pretty accurate, I guess. I can't really see the bird that well.
Yeah, like if it wasn't titled, well, you can see that it's written there, uh, in the corner, like Woman with a Small Dead
Oh,
Bird.
really?
But if it wasn't written there, like I would not know what this is, truthfully.
She looks more dead than I think anything else.
I agree.
Yeah, what is a medium? What is that made out of?
I think it's wood. I I I think it's wood. I remember seeing on the website that it was on wood, but I don't know like the specifics of like what it was on wood.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, really explore different mediums, and that's fun. I don't
Yeah.
really do as much as I don't think I have as big of a variety. And I thought I had a big variety, but I think he probably has a bigger variety of types of mediums than I do. So,
Yeah.
uh,
I,
props.
yeah. He really did try a lot of stuff. So that's all I have.
Wow.
I hope that like this has been educational for some
Yes.
of you, and I know I for one am excited to watch Twin Peaks and see how I feel about it. Um,
Yeah, that's exciting. I honestly,
I have to see where I can find that.
I haven't watched it in forever. It's a pretty well-known show. You should be able to find that pretty much anywhere. I think maybe, yeah. I don't think it's like that. It should be around, but yeah, that was really interesting because I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know anything about his photography or his artwork in general, and it was really surprising, surprising, and it really did make you feel something, and I really appreciate that because
I'm glad.
some days you don't always feel much. I'm just kidding, but I mean, if you could really show that to people, and then you might get very interesting reactions, and I'm sure he
Well, I'm
loved
glad that you
that.
enjoyed it because yeah, I mean, when doing the research, I didn't think it would be all that earth-shattering, but to know that you appreciate it is nice.
Yeah,
And like I said, it was definitely more difficult than other artists to find that side of his work, just because like every time you Google David Lynch, the only thing that comes up is like his film stuff.
yeah, that
So
makes
like
sense.
trying to get like the other stuff, I had to like dig deeper.
Yeah,
But like it was good, and I'm glad I did, and now I
yeah.
know something.
I
So
think it's cool because usually, like every person that we've talked about on this podcast, there might be artwork that like is more, conventionally good. You might be like, well, that's good art, like that is painted well or something like that. And it's
yeah,
interesting to look at something where you're like, all right, no, that's art, but it is definitely strange
but it's
and
not
hard to
technically
look
like
at for sure.
yeah, and there wasn't like technical, like it wasn't very technical. He didn't try to do things like the right way,
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure.
So
The very
I think it's like
opposite,
interesting.
very opposite
Yeah,
way.
because he was like trying to like break all the rules. So
And that is very much appreciated when you're not, always seeing that. So it's like in a weird way, it can be a breath of fresh air.
refreshing. Yeah, yeah, I
Fresh
agree.
air, well, how fresh looking were some of those things? You know,
Nothing, yeah, nothing,
nah, I don't
but
know, but
um, so we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We will be back soon. I think our next episode is museum talk. We talk
ooh,
about our
I'm
favorite
excited
museums, so
about
I'm super
that
excited for
one.
that. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your week.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.